Assalamu alaikum. Hello, if you're watching this, my name is Fatima, and today I'm going to be discussing about my reason for supporting Palestine because a lot of people ask me why I support Palestine and they accuse me of being a terrorist sympathizer. So, let me start by saying the part a lot of people intentionally ignore because it doesn't sit well with them. Kingdom of Israel in the Bible is not the modern day Israel created by Britain in 1948. Yes, most Jewish people living in Israel today have European ancestry, particularly from Poland, Russia, and Eastern Europe countries.
Can you tell me where your family is originally from before they came to Israel?
My mom came from Miami, and my father was born here.
Where's your family originally from?
My father, Argentina. My mom, Pauline, and Poland.
Poland and Romania. We're both Ashkenazi.
Came from Germany and Russia.
So they came even before the Second World War.
One of them came even before the First World War. We were citizens in Palestine under the British mandate.
Due to a combination of historical events and migrations, and a lot of people living in Israel have acknowledged it. The majority of Jewish people in Israel are Ashkenazi Jews, whom originated from Central and Eastern Europe. Then the Holocaust during World War II, 6 million Jews were killed in the Holocaust, which led to a significant displacement of Jewish communities from Europe. Post-World War II immigration, many surviving Jews after the war migrated to what is known as Israel today, which was established in 1948 as a homeland for Jewish people. Expulsion and persecution, leading to a significant, I would say, displacement of Jewish people. Many Jewish people voluntarily migrated to what is today known as Israel from Europe, attracted by the promise of a Jewish homeland and the opportunity to escape persecution. Till date, Israeli government has sponsored immigration programs, particularly from Europe, to encourage Jewish people to migrate to Israel. Even the current Prime Minister of Israel, whom is okay with throwing bombs at children and mass murdering humans and animals, Benjamin Netanyahu, was born to a father, Ben-Zion, who migrated from Poland to Palestine in 1920. His mother, Zila Sigal, was born in Petah Tikva, which is now part of Israel, but was then part of the Ottoman Empire. Benjamin Netanyahu himself was born on October 21st, 1949, just a year after the creation of the State of Israel, while Netanyahu was born in created Israel. His family has roots in Poland and Eastern Europe, and they were part of the early Zionist immigration to Palestine. Take notes. The modern state of Israel was established in 1948 largely due to the efforts of the Zionist movement. Zionism emerged in the late 19th century as a response to supposed anti-Semitism and persecution of Jews in Europe, which is true, which which Palestinians have been persecuted and bombed for years by the Israeli government, this same Zionist group till date, and they don't find it ironic how they escaped this exact circumstance but are throwing it at other people because they are obsessed with the idea of a state of Israel. They are obsessed with expansion and colonialism. They don't mind taking over all of Middle East with the help of United States of America. Obviously, we can see that in Lebanon.
أنا أبا הם יפים, יפים מאוד. אני אוהב את הרי הלבנון, אמר אלון. נכון, הם יפים, אישר אבא. אני רוצה לטייל שם, אמר אלון. אי אפשר, זה מסוכן, האויב נמצא שם. זה עדיין לא שלנו, אמר אבא. זה יהיה שלנו, חשב אלון. לבנון שלנו.
Theodor Herzl, an Austrian-Hungarian journalist and writer who is considered the founder of modern Zionism, advocated for the establishment of a Jewish homeland in Palestine. Take note, Palestine has always been in existence. Chaim Weizmann, a Russian-born chemist and Zionist leader who played a key role in the establishment of the State of Israel, served as the first president of Israel from 1949 to 1952. David Ben-Gurion, a Polish-born Zionist who declared Israel's independence on May 14, 1948, served as Israel's first prime minister from 1948 to 1953 and again from 1955 to 1963. We can clearly see that they are not, or they were all not, from Palestine, and that is not the issue. The issue here is people knowing all this history still vilifying Palestinians, not wanting to leave their ancestral homes for occupiers and settlers from Europe, and antagonizing them when they fight for their homes. I am as sure as the hunger you feel in your stomach whenever you're hungry, that your first course of action to people fighting you to forcefully take over not just your country but your homeland would be to fight and try as much as you can to keep it. That is theft. That is why your first course of action to thieves would not be to cuddle them and, just hand them over what they want or what they are requesting and forcefully trying to take, except under duress. And that is rightly called oppression. The establishment of Israel was also facilitated by uh, international support, particularly from the United States and the United Kingdom, of course. You would always find them at the front. That's why they are the biggest colonizers in the history of humanity. Yet they somehow think they hold the ground, the moral ground for human rights and humanity. I mean, the sheer audacity. Balfour Declaration 1917. Take note. The British government issued a public statement expressing support for the establishment of a Jewish homeland in Palestine, and United Nations Partition Plan, that is 1947. The UN General Assembly voted to divide Palestine into separate Jewish and Arab states, with Jerusalem to be administered by the UN. If we go back to ancient history, Canaanites and Philistines, the region of Canaan, which includes modern day Israel and Palestine, was inhabited by various ancient civilizations, including the Canaanites and Philistines. The ancient Israelites, the ones in the Bible, who were a group of Hebrew speaking people, inhabited the region from around 1500 BCE, 1950, and then 1517 to 1917. The region was under Ottoman rule for nearly 400 years, during which time it was known as Palestine. Take note. 1917 to 1948, following World War One, the British took control of the region and administered it as a League of Nations Mandate territory known as the British Mandate for Palestine. The modern Palestinian national identity began to take shape in the early 20th century with the Arab nationalist movement and the Palestinian Arab revolt against British rule. The Palestinian Israeli conflict has its origin in the rise of Zionism in Europe. This movement, as I said earlier, aimed at establishing a Jewish state. But how? Through the colonization of Palestine. Consequent first arrival of Jewish settlers to Ottoman Palestine in 1882. The indigenous Arab population increasingly began to oppose Zionism, primarily out of the fear of territorial displacement and dispossession. The Zionist movement garnered the support of an imperial power in the 1917 Balfour Declaration issued by Britain, which promised to support the creation of a Jewish homeland in Palestine. Following British occupation of the formerly Ottoman region during World War One, Mandatory Palestine was established as a British mandate. Increasing Jewish immigration because they were coming in large numbers led to tensions between Jews and Arabs, which grew into intercommunal conflicts. Check Wikipedia. In 1936, an Arab revolt erupted demanding independence and an end to British Zionism support, which was obviously suppressed by the British. Eventually, tensions led to the UN adopting a petition plan in 1947, triggering a civil war. During the ensuing 1948 Palestine War, more than half more than half of the mandate's predominantly Palestinian Arab population fled for their lives or were expelled by Israeli forces. Take note. By the end of the war, Israel was established on most of the former mandates, the Palestinian territory. Israel's occupation, which is now considered to be the longest military occupation in modern history, has seen its constructing illegal settlements there in Palestine, creating a system of institutionalized discrimination against Palestinians under its occupation called Israeli apartheid. Israel has drawn international condemnation for violating the human rights of the Palestinians, except that it's still funded and supported by a lot of Western countries. Since 2006, Hamas and Israel have fought several wars, and we see the country receiving external support to bomb a small minority of oppressed people from the grand and great grandparents to the newborn babies. We can see it. We're not blind. We're seeing everything.
انت شفت الضربة؟
والله انا لسه جاي بطل ابن ابوي الكور لو بسروا قسموها ابن ابوي ضرب الفسخ.
كنت تلعب كورة؟
لا والله كنت الكورة الى ابن ابوي صغير من تحت السيارة. لا يوقع الا اللي قلت له اياه.
قلت له الكورة؟
لو لسه بطبل لو بمسح السرور. فانا شلت ابن ابوي ودخلت جوا الدار. بعدين حملته وديته حضر الناس جرينا. ووديته في كمان واحد اسمه صالح القرآن راسه كله طلع مخه طلع بعد كبوت لما قعد والله ما هي حياة ولا أي شيء.
Following consequent years of bombing and attacks from Israeli Defense Forces, attacks by Hamas-led armed groups as counterattack in October 2023 in Israel was followed by another war, this time a genocide from Israel. Israel's action in Gaza since the start of the 2023 war have been described by international law experts and human rights organizations as genocidal. But guess what? The custodian of human rights are still actively funding this genocide. Amnesty International reports that Israeli settlements diverts resources needed by Palestinians, such as arable land, water, and other resources. A lot of Palestinians, old, Young and newborn babies have been gravely injured by Israelis' use of live ammunition. A lot have been killed, thousands. We have seen women giving birth without any painkillers, including during surgeries. We have seen women go through menstruation without having clean water to bath and clean themselves. Majority of the surviving children in Gaza are amputees because either their hands or legs are being blown off by bombs. I go online and see videos of children crying beside the dead bodies of their parents. I have seen I've seen children being blown off. I have seen a decapitated baby. I've seen a child without head. Not once, not twice, not thrice. It's a horror. This is not normal, and anybody supporting this is a deranged terrorist. There's just no other way to put it. I've had conversations with people, and a lot from my country, Nigeria, whom say that Palestinians deserve whatever is happening to them because crazy. The majority of Palestinians are supposedly Muslims. These people are so brain dead that they don't know a significant number of Palestinians are Christians. For them, the Gazan Christians are a collateral damage, as long as the majority of the victims are Muslims. And you still find some myopic people saying Islamophobia doesn't exist. Can you explain what this behavior is? Some people saying a particular group of people deserve to die because the majority of them are Muslim. Are you dense? Some are people whom relate well with the Muslims they live around. Like the people saying all this are people whom relate well with the Muslims they live around. They live around a lot of Muslims and grew up with a lot of Muslims, but still come online and dehumanize all Muslims. That's a very myopic and hypocritical manner of living. There are non-Muslims bombed and killed in Palestine and Gaza. We've seen it, but apparently they don't care. But that is not the topic of discussion in this video.
Speaking of getting cancelled, who are you guys supporting? Israel. No, India or Pakistan. Israel or Palestine? Palestine. Anyone else? Palestine? Round of applause. Israel, anyone? Why Israel?
Palestine started first.
Palestine started it first. Oh, we're talking about October 7th?
I know it's going on for a long time, but...
You're just watching from this season. I also watched Game of Thrones midway. And I was like, this King Joffrey is good, yeah?
Sometimes they try to hide their bigotry and apathy by saying it's not an African issue. I'm talking about the people I've discussed with that say these people deserve to die because they are Muslims, and there are Muslims committing atrocities in this world, and it bugs me because these same people do not speak for Nigerians suffering for anything except if they are from their region or if it personally and directly involves them. They only give condescending remarks. They don't speak about what is happening in our fellow neighboring African countries. You will never see them speak about things happening in Congo, Sudan, or even Somali. It's just them and them alone, selfishly. Anyways, we're all dying one day regardless of apathy or empathy. Like, that is how the world is designed. We must die. We must all die. It's a reality. So, if you resonate with anything or everything I've said in this video, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section, respectfully and amicably if possible, because please, there's always a space to give rebuttals from me. Like, that's how the thing is. I am not the bigger person. I cannot be the bigger person. I am slim, okay? If you resonate with this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching.
A viral video from Gaza brings people to tears about this girl named Alma who is literally stuck in the rubble with her siblings and her parents. Watch the video right here. They literally talk to her, and this is what she's saying from underneath the rubble.
طب عايزين يا المل معك
The worst part isn't that the fact that she has to literally speak from the rubble and scream so people can fucking hear her, but the fact that she is 13 and begging these people not to save her first, to save her family. Imagine what you have to go through as a 13-year-old to have the mental capability to even say those words. This is what the fuck is going on in Gaza. Keep up.
And with that, the 2024 season comes to an end, and the fight for justice continues.